Torrey. And now the starting lineups for the Edmonds-Woodway Warriors on offense. Starting at left tackle, number 55, Reed Burmaster. At left guard, number 69, Evan Gibbs. At center, number 74, Nick Arico. At right guard, number 57, Riley Johnson. At right tackle, number 73, Chase Holland. At tight end, number 88, Isaac Wicks. At wide receiver, number 80, Dylan Rendorf. At receiver, number 7, Nate Tesfacion. At running back, number 3, Ryan Fahey. At the other running back position, number 9, Steele Swinton. And the starting quarterback for the Warriors, number 4, Cruz Caldwell. The Edmonds-Woodway Warriors are coached by Mr. John Gradwell. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please direct your attention down to midfield for this evening's coin toss. The officials for tonight's contest, the back judge, Wes Taylor. The line judge, Tyler Wadecamper. The linesman, Corky Trewin. The umpire, Ted Jones. And the white hat down on the field giving us the calls for this evening, Mr. Tim Stern. Edmonds-Woodway has won the coin toss and has elected to defer their decision to the second half of play. The Thunderbirds will receive tonight's opening kickoff. They'll be moving from right to left down on the field. Edmonds-Woodway protecting the south end zone.
All right, one more, Heather.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hawk Broadcast Network, home for live streamed. Oh my God, it's so cold.
Ladies and gentlemen,
why is it so
I want to take a second
cold?
and say what an absolute pleasure it is to see you in the stands this evening. Thank you for showing up and supporting the boys down on the field for both teams. If you haven't already, would you please stand, remove your hats, and face the north end zone for the saying of our Pledge of Allegiance. Please salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now, it's time for Friday Night Lights.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hawk Broadcast Network, home for live streamed video for Edmonds School District Sports. This program is brought to you by EDS Career and Technology Education Leadership Organization, Club HPN. I am Club HPN's president, Heather Miles. We are live at Edmonds Stadium for the varsity football game featuring Shorewood Thunderbirds versus the Edmonds-Woodway Warriors. Calling the game is the voice of Terrace Sports, Steve Willix. Take it away, Steve.
Thank you. I didn't know we were on, so the mic check went out. Right. We'll bring down 3.
Number 84, Jacob Sanchez Arias, ready to kick it off to start the game. Number 12, Jackson Chow. Number 34, Eduardo Elagio, back deep for the T-Birds.
Good evening and welcome to Edmonds Stadium, where tonight we are ready for more Wesco 3A football action between the Edmonds-Woodway Warriors and the Shorewood Thunderbirds. Just heard Paul Keene on the PA system announcing that we are ready to go. And here we go. We are underway. It's Jackson Chow taking the kickoff return, fielding it at his own 3-yard line. Brought down at the 11-yard line, a handful of Warriors in on the tackle on the play. And Shorewood is about to take the field for the first time tonight, and we're still trying to get caught up on a few things up here, so we'll give you those starting lineups here momentarily. T-Birds bringing out their offense, 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. A new quarterback tonight from when we watched the T-Birds play last week. Making a change at QB. We're going to get a throw out to the flat here on the left side. Not much doing there. Number 15, Rory Swanson on the catch. Going to give him maybe, let's call it, board is showing 2nd and 10, but I'm going to say that looking at the yard marker, maybe a yard on the play. So we'll call it 1-yard gain for Swanson on the catch. 2-yard gain, perhaps. Ramatullah Salim, 6'4", 190-pound junior QB, getting the start tonight. And we've already got our first flag of the game. Your officials for tonight's game, the head referee is Ted Stern. Ted Jones is your umpire. Corky Traywin is your linesman. Taylor Wadecamp is your line judge. And Wes Taylor is your back judge. And we're going to get an encroachment call against Edmonds-Woodway. Coming across the line of scrimmage there, giving Shorewood the early 5-yard advantage. They're helping them out a little bit. Shorewood coming into this game looking for their first win of the season. Keep in mind, this is week number 3 of a 5-week shortened season this year. And the ball is on the ground, fumbled. Raheem looks like he picked it up rather quickly and tried to get back to the line of scrimmage, but came up just a wee bit short. Give him a loss of 1 on the play. Tackle made by Morales. And again, we'll give you these starting lineups here shortly. Bringing up a 3rd and 3. Need to get to that 22-yard line to move the chains. Again, opening drive. Draw up the middle. Not happening there. Edmonds-Woodway sniffing that one out quickly. Treasure Jordan in on the tackle. Loss of 1 on the play. Elagio with the carry. He will be the feature back for Shorewood. See him quite a bit. So quick 3 and out here for Shorewood. Quick punt there. Ball hit an Edmonds-Woodway player. This should be Shorewood football. See if the referee saw that or not. His low line drive kick. Referees are not going to call it that way. It looked as though Edmonds-Woodway, number 28, Jake Ingram, not realizing what that ball was. The ball really never got off the ground very far. Thought it hit Ingram's hand. The referees are talking about it right now. The Shorewood coaches recognized it. They yelled for their team to jump on the ball, and Hunter Thibodeau, number 51, immediately covered it up. And they are not going to give the ball over to Shorewood. That's a little surprising there. Again, once that ball is touched, if it's touched by an Edmonds-Woodway player, it's a live ball. And if that ball goes beyond the first down marker, which it did, it needed to go beyond the 22-yard line. That was a good 15 yards down the field further. Either the referees didn't see it or maybe he pulled his hand away at the last second. Hard to say from up here, but say the ball was, well, if the ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage, and they say that it was tipped before it goes past the 19-yard line, then in fact that ball can go down the field further. Once the ball crosses the line of scrimmage, if it's touched, and it's one person's opinion here. I thought he went beyond the line of scrimmage, but either way, Edmonds-Woodway out here for their first play of the game. And there's a name we know fairly well, Steele Swinton, the running back, all Wesco as a junior last year. It's a name you'll hear quite a bit today. Almost 1,000 yards rushing last season. This time he's trying to get it down there in the air as a quick pass out for a 4-yard gain. And we'll get to the starting lineups here in just a moment. Hand off, a lot of room. Fumbles the football, picks it up on the bounce, and keeps going. Number 3, Ryan Fahey getting the carry. Fumbled his own ball. The ball took a very nice bounce off the turf, right back up into his hands. Slowed him down a bit, but he picked it up and advanced it for a few more yards. Picked up 22 on the play. Not only does Edmonds-Woodway move into the red zone right away, they move inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal at the 10, looking for their first points of the game. Quarterback, I should mention. And they've got a two-headed situation here at quarterback, but right now it's Cruz Caldwell, number 4. High snap. He fumbles the football, wisely falls on it. Didn't have much of a choice there. Going to call that a 6-yard loss. It's going to bring up a 2nd and goal from the 16. So up front for Edmonds-Woodway, your offensive line, number 55, Reed Burmeister is your left tackle. Your left guard is number 69, Evan Gibbs. Your center, number 74, Nick Arico. Your right guard is number 57, Riley Johnson. And your right tackle is Chase Holland, who wears the number 73. Isaac Wicks, number 88, your starting tight end. We'll get you the skill players here in just a moment. 2nd and 16 coming up. Hand off to Fahey, looking for some room out to the left, avoids a couple of tacklers. Flag is down in the backfield. This one may be coming back. Now 2 flags down. Fahey is into the end zone. However, with all the laundry on the field, that's generally in the vicinity where you're going to get an offensive call, more than likely coming back. So we'll hold off on the celebration here for just one moment. And you can see that the Edmonds-Woodway player is not celebrating either, so I think they already know that this is probably going to be called on the green and purple, if you will.
Offense, ladies, that penalty.
Ooh. A little bit of static coming through the official microphone down on the field, but we'll clear that up for you. 2 offensive penalties called, 2 blocks in the back by Edmonds-Woodway. Can only take one of them, so one was declined, the other one was taken. So we're going to redo 2nd down all over again. Still 2nd and goal, however, Edmonds-Woodway traveling in the wrong direction right now. That was a spot foul. So all the way back to the 23-yard line. Caldwell looking. Screen pass. Swinton in the middle of the field to the 10, the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, Warriors. Just the way it was diagrammed. Caldwell drops back. Sucked the defense in a little bit there. Swinton right over the middle. Catch, run, avoid tacklers. Cross the goal line, 6 points right there. 7:39 to go, first quarter. Edmonds-Woodway up 6-0. Jacob Sanchez Arias in to kick the extra point. The kick is up. The kick is good. Let's give you the rest of that lineup. We just saw Steele Swinton out there. Talked about Ryan Fay. He already had a carry. He's number 3. Dylan Rundorf, number 80, is your flanker. And Nate Tesfashion, number 7, is your split end. Fans in the stands tonight. We're looking around right now. Not a huge crowd. There's certainly a lot of restrictions in place still right now. Permitted to have up to 400. They might have even kept this one down a little bit tonight. I'm looking around here, and certainly not that many. So trial run a little bit, if you will. Oh, there we go. 5-play drive for 36 yards. It was a 2-minute drive, as Doug Podrowski doing stats for us this evening, and we very much appreciate that. So Edmonds-Woodway, first drive of the game, thanks in part to a 3-and-out from Shorewood, and then a low kick, a kick that didn't go quite as far as they wanted to, and maybe even a break a little bit. And it ultimately leads to Steele Swinton, the 23-yard reception for a touchdown from Cruz Caldwell. And Caldwell unofficially 2 passes for 24 yards in that, or 25 yards rather, on the first drive. Shorewood bringing the offense out onto the field one more time. Ramatullah Salim, their quarterback, number 3, getting his first start tonight. Eduardo Alagio wearing the number 34. See him quite a bit at tailback. There's a pitch, a dangerous pitch at that. Edmonds-Woodway sniffed that one out very quickly, and guess who? Just said his name a minute ago, scoring a touchdown. Now he's getting it done on the defensive side. Steele Swinton popping up to make the tackle there. Your Shorewood offensive line tonight. Left tackle, number 56, Riley Ordona. Your left guard is number 66, Gary Bentoncourt. Your center, number 62, Tyson McGill. Right guard, number 51, Hunter Thibodeau. Your right tackle is number 70, Max Knoll. Starting tight end, number 32, Jack Donan. Your wide receivers are number 5, Tyson Shea, and number 44, Alberto Solano, who we've also seen carrying the ball. And look out! Big hit right there. Jack Ingram blitzing from the blind side there, and I'm not sure Raheem ever saw him until the very last second. Gets drilled and throws that one away. Got it just around the vicinity of a receiver to where he did not get a grounding call. That's going to bring up a 3rd and long. We talked about this a little bit last week, too. Shorewood, sharp-looking uniforms, not necessarily a play-by-play announcer's favorite set of tops there. White tops, white numbers, very thin trim on the numbers at that. Little trickery here. Raheem in trouble. Flag goes down in the backfield. Tries to get past the line of scrimmage and does. However, well short of the line of scrimmage. Ryan Fahey in on the tackle. Also, Rory Swanson, number 15, one of your starters for Shorewood, as they get ready to punt the ball away. Holding, they're going to go ahead and just wave that off. Decline the penalty. 4th and long coming up. By the way, your Edmonds-Woodway defenders, we'll get you some of those right now too. Your defensive line is Number 57, Riley Johnson, is a defensive tackle. Also, George Catano, number 66. Emron Abdul-Qadar, we saw him get a safety 2 weeks ago against Mount Lake Terrace in this stadium. He's wearing the number 35. We'll get to the rest of the defense when they come back out on the field. Edmonds-Woodway once again looking to get great field position. They take it over at the Shorewood 46-yard line with 6:30 to go here, first quarter. If you're just tuning in, Shorewood has had 2 offensive possessions, 2 3-and-outs. They've punted twice. First punt, a very low line drive kick. Edmonds-Woodway took the ball over at their own 41, or at the Shorewood 41 rather. 5 plays later, punched it into the end zone. A Steele Swinton 23-yard screen pass on second and goal from the 23. Throw from Cruz Caldwell. And now after a second punt, Edmonds-Woodway looking to take their second possession of the game, both times on the Shorewood side of the field. Keeper here in this play. Caldwell faked the handoff to Steele. Gets that one out to the 30, we'll call it the 38-yard line. They're going to call that a gain of 7 on the play. Pretty good hit there, too, as Caldwell's helmet almost coming off there. Let's go ahead and get you caught up here and on the Shorewood side of things here as well on their defense. We'll do that after this next play here. And that's Alec Rust already in the game. I knew we were going to see a little bit of a revolving quarterback, and Rust getting a snap right now. Fakes the handoff, looking to pass. Throwing it, looked to throw it deep. Ball is tipped, intercepted. Looked as though Rust was either hit from the front as he went to throw it, or his arm might have been hit. He was looking to throw it much deeper than that. The ball popped up into the air. And right there on the spot, ready to retrieve it, Eduardo Elagio, the starting tailback, with the pickoff there at the 26-yard line. So Shorewood going to get yet another try here on offense, their third possession of the game. So Shorewood ball, their own 26-yard line. Best field position they've had all day today, at least for a start. And they're not going to have very good field position for long. Swarmed and taken down hard. Raheem gang tackled on the play. Ingram in on the tackle. Looked like Morales, number 17, was in on there. Maybe even 1 or 2 others. So I'm finding the going tough here early. Call it 2nd and 12, 24-yard line. A little bit more than midway through the first quarter. Swanson in motion, left to right, pitch to the right. Looking for somewhere to run. You can run, but you can't hide. There is nothing but green surrounding those running backs today. Catano in on the tackle amongst others. Pretty much just keep calling these guys out and giving various credit all day long here. I think that was number 22, Daresh, with the carry. Again, a bit of a challenge up here. These Shorewood numbers not easy to read. We're going to get a 3rd and long coming up once again. Looking to pass, dropping back. Deep ball down the right side. Only player even in the vicinity is a defender. Incomplete. That was Finch back there trying to retrieve the ball. Charlie Finch dropping back. Actually, it might have been number 21, Kevin Pratt, that was back there. Finch also dropping back, but that was on Pratt's side of the field. And quite frankly, they call a holding foul against Shorewood. Obviously, with an incomplete pass, Edmonds-Woodway declined, so that brings up 4th down. And quite frankly, the way that ball was thrown and how the punting game has gone so far, probably better that he didn't catch that ball. He was going to fall to the ground anyway. Would have given Edmonds-Woodway the ball right around the 40-yard line. Instead, they're going to get much better field position. Isaac Van Horn back to punt for the third time. Another line drive kick. Takes a nice bounce. Fielded at his own 48-yard line. That is Steele Swinton. He's got some room. He's got some sideline. Cuts it back once again inside the 20. Brought down at the 13. Penalty marker down at midfield. 39-yard punt return if it stands. And then we get a late flag after all is said and done at the 20. We've got some things to sort out here right now. That last flag, more than likely a personal foul of some sort, as it was thrown a good 4 or 5 seconds after the play was dead. Offense is already starting to congregate and to huddle back by their own 35-yard line, so I think they know this one's coming back. So you're probably going to get some sort of a block in the back or a hold at midfield. But then after that's all said and done, it's going to go 15 yards, I would imagine, one way or the other, more than likely, again, for some sort of a personal foul. So let's see what they do here. Let me give the official one more try here on the mic. I don't want to blast anybody's ears out here as we're trying to wear one of those little mic boxes down there in which they can announce to the entire stadium now that we have fans in the stands again. And first time around, it was a little bit rough to listen to, so we'll see what happens.
During the return, personal foul, blindside block, number 21. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 28. Both penalties will be enforced. First down.
So both penalties going against Edmonds-Woodway. And again, because one is a dead ball foul, you don't have to turn down one of them. You can accept both. Both were personal fouls. So apparently they're going to call a blindside block. Different from a block in the back. A blindside block can be anything from a side block to just anything in general where you know that the defensive player is defenseless and cannot see anybody coming and gets hit. So we're going to call that one. And then after the play, they also called a personal foul. So that's going to move them back all the way back to their own 20-yard line. Doug Podrowski pointed out to me as he's doing some stats for us, by the time it's all said and done, 66 yards pushed back from where Steele Swinton ultimately was tackled at the 13 or 14-yard line. They're going to push it back all the way to their own 20-yard line. Yikes. So Edmonds-Woodway with an early lead, 7-0 here. Steele Swinton with a carry. Gets swung down hard. Gary Bentoncourt in on the tackle. So Edmonds-Woodway, this is their third possession now. First possession, moved the ball rather nicely, albeit a short field. Second possession, they had something going there as well, but then Alex Rust's arm got hit. The ball was picked off by Eduardo Alagio for Shorewood. Now we get to see Edmonds-Woodway for the third time here. Caldwell back in. He completes a throw. That's Isaac Wicks, the tight end. Big fella leaning forward, picks up enough for a first down. They're going to give him about a 9-yard gain on the play. Isaac Van Horn, number 9 on the tackle for Shorewood.
10-yard gain, resulting in a Warrior first down.
We're going to ultimately spot him for a 10-yard gain. Caldwell still in. Sends Swinton in motion, gives it to him. Flag flies right into the middle there. We go into the assumption this one's going to come back as well. Swinton pushing forward to right around the 39-yard line. Would be a 6-yard gain if it stands. However, penalty marker is sitting right back there at the 32-yard line. Got to think this is just driving Coach John Gradwell and his staff nuts right now.
Number 69 of the offense.
There you go, a holding call. Gradwell, who, by the way, 2 weeks ago here in the opener, a 44-0 victory over Mount Lake Terrace, his 150th career win as the coach of Edmonds-Woodway. Gradwell entering his 25th season at the helm of the Warriors. Local guy, played ball here as well as PLU back in the day for the late, great Frosty Westering. Helped the Lutes win an NAIA national championship back in the day. Another sweep here to Swinton, looks to get out to the edge. Doesn't find any room to run, and he goes down. Looked as though Elagio cutting him off. Dropped him back for a 3-yard loss on the play. Swinton finding the going a little bit rough when he's carrying the ball. His success so far today has been on passing plays. 2 catches for 26 yards. Unofficially, we have him at 2 carries for no yardage right now. So between the penalty spot foul that we saw a moment ago and now the 3-yard loss, we're looking at a 2nd and 24 from the 19-yard line. 1:42 to go, first quarter. Edmonds-Woodway out ahead 7-0. Caldwell looking, screen pass, ball is tipped, incomplete. Trying to set up the halfback screen. I believe that was Berger, number 26. They were trying to get that one too. Jack Deneen getting the tip. Caldwell, the senior quarterback, going over to the sideline, getting a play. Here we go again, looking, rolling out, being chased, avoids one tackler, fumbles the football, finally falls on it at the 10-yard line. Almost a huge crisis there for Edmonds-Woodway. That would have been an awful play to fumble the ball inside your own 10, but Caldwell able to fall on it. As it is, he loses 9 yards. That will bring up a punting situation. I was going to say crisis averted, but really I guess when you are looking at a 4th and 32, you can still call that somewhat of a crisis, right? Going to end up spotting it at the 11-yard line. So we'll call it a loss of 8 on the play. And Isaac Wicks, who is the tight end, we saw him catch a pass a few minutes ago, also is the team punter. So he is dropped back to punt, standing on his own goal line. Nice high booming kick. 2 players back there. The ball bounces at the 48, keeps rolling. Nice Edmonds-Woodway roll. Continuing to go all the way back to the 32-yard line. That's a 57-yard punt. We'll call 41 of that in the air. That ball bounced at the Shorewood 48. It continued to roll all the way down to the 32 and a half. Take your pick there. Regardless, Shorewood with a little bit of a ways to go in order to try to get into the end zone. 29 seconds to go here, first quarter rather. And Shorewood will try this all over again. Reminder, this is a doubleheader tonight, coming up at 8 o'clock. Linwood versus Meadowdale. 2 teams, both 1-1 on the season. Linwood team that's feeling pretty confident right now after a big 41-14 victory last week. Another yellow flag flies. We've seen our share of those here in the first quarter. A little bit of a sloppy game on both sides here. That was Elagio with the carry. See if it stands here. Referee's explaining to John Gradwell what the situation is, giving him the option if he wants to turn it down.
Number 24 of the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Illegal motion called on the play. So we're going to replay first down. They'll move that back 5 yards. Clock showing 23 seconds left. Edmonds-Woodway very stingy on defense thus far today. Shorewood doing their best to hold in there as well. Clock is now running. They don't have to take a snap if they don't want to. They elect to. Salim drops back, decides to run it. Puts a shoulder down, gets past the 35-yard line, a gain of 7 on the play. The better plays we've seen from Shorewood today thus far. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 8. Clock showing 3 zeros, which means we've come to the end of the first quarter of play. The score, Edmonds-Woodway 7, Shorewood 0. You are watching Hawk TV HBN. And welcome back once again. Second quarter underway. Edmonds-Woodway Shore. What a defensive struggle thus far. Edmonds-Woodway scoring on their first possession of the game. A 5-play, 36-yard drive that lasted for 2 minutes and ended with a 2nd and goal from the 23, a touchdown pass, a screen pass from Cruz Caldwell to Steele Swinton. Edmonds-Woodway has threatened one other time. Got an interception. They just punted a moment ago. Well, here we go. Total yards of offense for the first quarter. Edmonds-Woodway 46, Shorewood 1. Oh, that's a -1. Okay. 46 to -1. So a little bit of a rough go there for Shorewood. Doug Pogrowski bringing us our stats tonight. Nice job by the defense there. Kadolkader getting the tackle there. 1 yard gain. 3rd and 4 coming up here for Shorewood. Yeah, Edmonds-Woodway, a very stout defense, playing extremely well. The Shorewood team that struggled on offense this year. Only 2 touchdowns thus far in the season. Derish goes in motion. So Lim looks to pass, spins off of one tackler, and finally goes down at the line of scrimmage. 4th and 4 coming up. Going to give Paul Coe the tackle there. Senior outside linebacker, 5'10", 165. And for the 4th time today, we're going to see Mr. Van Horn come back out and punt. Steele Swinton, number 9, standing at his own 28-yard line. A little bit of a high snap. Ball is up there. It's going to land right around the 35-yard line. Takes a nice bounce. Continues to roll. Of course, anytime you can get that ball going on the artificial turf, you never know what you're going to get. All the way down 7-yard line. It continues to roll. It's still going. Finally stopped at the 6-yard line. 55-yard punt on the play for Van Horn. So a 55-yard punt for Van Horn. Obviously his best kick of the day. Edmonds-Woodway with their deepest field position, starting field position of the evening. Wind is picking up. You can kind of see it. It's blowing to the north right now, and I think we've seen that affect both of those two kicks. Wicks was also aided by one when Edmonds-Woodway was traveling in that direction during the first quarter. Cruz Caldwell back on to take the snap. Trips to the left. Handoff, Ingram right side. Breaks off a tackler past the first down marker. Still going. 35, 40. Out to midfield. Finally dragged down from behind. That's how you get out of a hole right there. Give the ball to Mr. Ingram. Jake taking care of business. And let's see where they actually mark him down at. The wind blowing around. You can kind of see it when you look at the officials in their attire that's blowing in the wind right now. Look, did we have a penalty mark? I didn't see the penalty initially. Apparently there might be a penalty down. He's dragged down at the 40. They're going to spot it at the 47, so that's a 41-yard gain for Ingram. And it looks as though the play is going to stand. It's just a matter of where the ball will be spotted. Whatever they decided there, they're just going to let it play. So no penalty on the play. 41-yard gain for Ingram. We mentioned, sideline warning. Okay, so apparently maybe one of the, I didn't see which team they were talking to, but one of the teams, they're going to call it on Edmonds-Woodway. So again, they've got those lines out there. You're supposed to stand behind the white lines. You initially get a warning. After that, you can be penalized as a team. Caldwell out into the flat, hopped it. Ball's incomplete. Intended for Tesfacion. Ball might have been tipped on the play. Riley Ordona, number 56 on the defensive side of things. Clock showing 10 minutes even right now. Second quarter to play here. 7-0 Edmonds-Woodway. Handoff to Ingram. This time he's in the backfield. Stiff arms one tackler. Spins out of another. Gets past midfield. One of the best 3-yard runs you're going to see tonight. Ingram looked to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage initially. Fought his way to get forward there and to make something positive out of what looked to be a play that was going to go backwards initially. Definitely a little chill in the air right now. It didn't feel too bad when we got started, but that wind has picked up. Clouds have rolled in. Sounds as though we may even get a little bit of rainfall later on tonight. That daylight savings time is awfully nice, too. It's nice to look out here at 5:30 and know that it's not going to be dark for a little while. Caldwell pitching the ball. Fahey finds some space. Hops over one player. Swung down finally. Let's see if they give him forward progress there. And we get a very late flag way down the field there. As it looks as though I was going to say a lineman and a receiver, but that's not a receiver there. It's Riley Johnson, who was blocking about 20 yards down the field. He got caught up with one of the defenders. Little extracurricular. Let's see who they call that on. And one of the things about having fewer people in the stands, you can hear a lot more of the sideline chatter, especially the coaches. When the coaches start yelling and screaming, you get a pretty good earful up here. And John Gradwell turning around to his team a minute ago and reminding everybody that we're going to play a clean game. So he's not too happy with some of the extracurricular and the fact that there have been so many flags thus far. They did not call a personal foul. The way that flag was thrown, it was thrown back in the vicinity, unless they decided that Johnson was holding way down the field. The way those two players went down simultaneously, I thought perhaps the referee assumed that, or the back judge thought maybe there was a little too much extracurricular. Instead, he calls a holding on the play. So that's going to bring the ball all the way back to the 41-yard line and bring up a 3rd and 16 for Edmonds-Woodway. Need to get to the 43 of Shorewood to get a first down. 3 receiver set. Actually, 4 receiver set. Trips out to the left. Tesfacion out to the right. A little bit of a high snap. Caldwell's going to keep it himself. Past the 50. Run out of bounds. A nice little gain. However, they needed 16 for the first. Only picks up 9. So now we've got a decision to make here. 4th and 7 for Edmonds-Woodway. You're at the 50. Your defense is certainly holding up their end of the bargain. You want to play the field position game a little bit more and really try to pin them back there again and let your defense do the work? Or do you want to try to get something going here offensively? And judging by the looks of it, they're staying in an offensive formation. So here we go. 4th and 7 coming up. 8:25 to go. First half. Doing a hard count there, trying to get some of that yardage back, and he almost worked it there. See, they're going to let this, they're going to snap it with 1 second to go. Bubble screen out to the left. They need to get to the 43. It's going to be close. Dylan Rundorf did a nice job to lunge forward there. If in fact he picked up the first down, and it looks like he may not have. I was going to give him the majority of the credit on that one because he looked to be stopped around the 45, 46. Lunged for it. The referees are still talking about it as we speak. You hear some coaches yelling in the up here. I don't think they're too happy with the fact that it's even as close as they're calling it right now, thinking that perhaps it wasn't an ideal spot. They're going to put it right at the 43, and I think we're going to have a measurement here. Close enough to where they're going to bring the chains over. And, of course, when the play-by-play announcer says that we might get rain later on tonight, 3 minutes later we get rain. So here comes the wet stuff right now as we speak. It's like a light rainfall right now, albeit a blowing one at that. It continues to blow to the north. Edmonds-Woodway heading to the south. Paul Keene, the public address announcer, announcing that the top chain gang in all of Wesco coming out to bring the sticks out to see if this one is in fact a first down. Let's see what we get here. And they get it just by inches. Oh, so close. If you're Shorewood, oh, so far away. So the Warriors back in T-Bird territory one more time. Gutsy 4th and 7 call works out. 8:18 to go, first half. Edmonds-Woodway left side of the field here right now. Caldwell still staying in there, taking snaps. Handoff, Fahey. Left side gets out past the 40 to the 39-yard line, a gain of 4. Woodway, let's see what they do here. Ran it to the short side off that left hash last time. Taking the 3 receiver set out to the side. You've got Rundorf Newton playing in that middle slot. Also Swinton out there. Another handoff to Fahey. Takes it out to the right, bounces off of one tackler, finds an opening. He could go. 10-yard line, 5, dives towards the pylon. And they're going to say he's just short of the touchdown marker. Fahey doing a nice job. Looked to run that into the middle at first. Bounced off of one of the defenders. Cut it out to the right. And he's pleading his case right now. Or actually, that's Steele Swinton pleading his case for him. Fahey running off to the far side there on the right side. Being pursued. It dove towards that pylon. If he touches the pylon, That's good enough. That's part of the end zone there. And they're going to say, actually, they're going to mark it out at the 2-yard line. So they're going to possibly say maybe his knee or another part of his body was down even before that. But nonetheless, a gain of 37 yards on the play. Remind you one more time, this is the first of 2 games tonight. Should be an interesting one later on tonight. Meadowdale versus Linwood. I had a chance to interview Keontae Bankhead on a radio show that I co-host for 1380 KRKO. Keontae was on with us last night. He mentioned this is his 10th season already at Linwood. Mentioned he's never beaten Meadowdale yet. He seems to think that maybe this year it could be the year. They're playing well right now. They picked up a nice 27-point win last week against this very short team that we're watching right now. Really got things going in the second half. So they're playing with some momentum. Feeling kind of good about their situation. Meadowdale reeling after a loss to Archbishop Murphy, a very tough Wildcat football team, 35-6 final score. Meadowdale's only win, also coming against this very Shorewood team that we're watching. That was 2 weeks ago, a 28-0 game. So if you look at the common opponent, if you will, Linwood with a 27-point win, Meadowdale with a 28-point win, looks good on paper. So we could have a good one tonight. 8 o'clock right after this game, we will get that one underway. And same bat time, same bat place here on HBN TV there. And there we go into the end zone. Touchdown, Edmonds-Woodway. Steele Swinton from 2 yards out. His second touchdown of the game. Edmonds-Woodway goes up 13-0. One if by air, 2 if by ground. 2 touchdowns right now for Swinton on the day. Goes along with his 23-yard screen pass that he had earlier from Caldwell. Thought maybe that Gradwell would reward Fahey for that 37-yard run and let him have it, but no, we're going to bring in the all-Wesco back and give him the chance there. Bad snap there, it looks like, or maybe it was a hold, couldn't tell, but either way, had a little trouble getting that ball down there. A nice try by Sanchez Arias to try to get the kickoff. Partly blocked, it is no good. And our score 13-0, 7:16 to go in the first half. You're watching Hawk TV HBN. That Edmonds-Woodway scoring drive, a 10-play, 94-yard drive that took 3 minutes up. Stats courtesy of Doug Podrowski. Edmonds-Woodway finally get in the end zone there on a 2-yard Steele Swinton rush up the middle. His second touchdown of the game. Edmonds-Woodway up 13-0 right now, and we go to commercial break, or we went to a quick audio break, if you will, and came back. The wind picked up a little bit more, and for a moment there, it was even raining a little bit harder, and I can see some dark clouds off in the distance. Ball is rolling around, still on the ground, and recovered by Edmonds-Woodway. To use the rain analogy, when it rains, it pours. And guess who? Ryan Fahey. He had that 37-yard rush to the 2-yard line that set up that touchdown a moment ago. Puts his team in good position right there. As Shorewood struggling to handle that ball, and I apologize. Tough time reading these numbers up here. We're using the binoculars as much as we can, but and we didn't catch that inadvertent whistle on the play. So they're going to say that apparently while the offensive player was trying to fall on the football, perhaps one of the officials was blocked, thought he had already recovered it. Whistle was blown, which automatically blows the play dead. Unfortunate for Edmonds-Woodway. The fans not too happy up here, the ones that are sitting here. We hear some of the coaches also upset, but nonetheless, a break for Shorewood. Team that, quite frankly, could use a break right now, down 13-0. So we'll see if they're able to use it to their advantage and do something with it. want to mention our folks that are helping us behind the scenes here to get everything on. Angelo Camo does an outstanding job from Mount Lake Terrace High School, running the show up here, setting up the equipment, getting all the pieces in place, keeping us on the air. Heather Miles also helping us today. Heather I should ask, what grade, Mount Lake Terrace? Senior at Mount Lake Terrace High School. Go Hawks. Helping us out here, running the board, switching between the cameras, and getting a great experience out of it. And she's warm in the process, right, Heather? I give her a hard time there. She's all bundled up. It's a little chilly. We can't blame her for that. And then running the cameras, we got a couple of, I believe, parents from the teams here. Barry Henthorne and Brandon Renfro. Appreciate their help. As Shorewood feels that pooch kick right around the 25-yard line, falls forward to the 33. Much better than the last kick. They'll take this one. It's right about the same spot that Edmonds-Woodway fell on the last ball, and it looks like we might have an injury here as well. As Jack Donnan, a little slow to get up here. Fans in the stands. Again, I'm going to limit it to 40. I'm guessing, and it's hard to tell up here. When you're in a stadium that holds close to 2,000 people and everybody's spread out, it's not quite there. I have a feeling that maybe they kept those numbers down. It is the first Friday in which we're doing this. I know that was a concern for a lot of folks, trying to figure out how you're going to do this. And the tricky part is that we have a doubleheader tonight. We've got another game right after this. Hopefully, if this game gets over in time, a little bit of time to spare. But the plan is everybody enters the building on the south side, the south entrance. Everybody exits on the north side. So therefore, you clear out everybody that's at this game right now. They exit to the north. Meanwhile, the next group comes in on the south, and you just keep things rolling. Jack Dunnan getting his leg looked at right now. Try to get you some other scores as we go along here tonight, too. The thing about the 5 o'clock games is there's not a whole lot of action going on there. And as far as other games, during the 8 o'clock, it's a little more fun to report scores because then there's pretty much everybody in play. Good to see Donnan get up, walk off. Albeit very gingerly. It's a key loss for them, too. Tight end, I know he had a touchdown reception here last week. Also seemed to call his name a lot on some of the defensive plays. So again, 7:05 to go here, first half. 13-0 score thus far. As I'm looking at this, I just realized we haven't called off the Shorewood defense. So let's give them a little love right now as Jack Donnan, who's one of the main defenders there, heads off. So starting defensive end. Your starting defensive tackle is Gary Betancourt, number 66. You'll notice that some of these names we've already called from the offensive side as they play both ways. Tyson McGill, number 62, is your starting nose. Starting end, number 6, Zach Herndon. Hand off and not finding much room to run. Wrench with the handoff there. 1-yard gain. Riley Johnson in on the tackle. Your linebackers, number 51, Hunter Thibodeau. He's your inside linebacker. Eduardo Elagio, number 34. Called his name on a few different occasions, not only when he's been running the ball, also has an interception so far. Jack DeReach, number 22, we just mentioned his name. He's another starting inside linebacker. Rory Swanson, number 15, is your outside linebacker. We'll get to the secondary here after this next play. Play that. Sack on the play. Salim dropped back to pass. Found a handful of Edmonds-Woodway players tackling him there. And again, I'm reading off the Shorewood defense right now. Their offense is on the field, but just trying to get this defense a little shout out here since we didn't get that earlier. Free safety, Isaac Van Horn is number 9. Your corners are Lake Mueller, number 18, and Jackson Cho, number 12. And then you're starting strong safety. Oh, we already got them all. So there we go. So that's your starting Shorewood defense. And they're hoping to get them back out on the field. They might just do that here in a moment. Edmonds-Woodway is forcing a 3rd and 17, a screen pass. Trying to find some room to the center of the field. Not going to find much there. That's a gain of around 3 on the play. And that's Elagio one more time. Elagio, a 5'5", 195-pound sophomore. Short, stocky, runs hard, runs low to the ground. Good-looking ball player there. He's got a couple more years left to go as well. And we're going to see Van Horn one more time to kick. We'll catch you up on some of the other individual stats at halftime. Again, appreciate Doug Podrowski helping us tonight. Van Horn with another good kick, similar to the last one. This time, though, Swinton's going to field it. As though he tried to cut it out to the right there. Might have lost a little bit of footing as tried to cut it out there. That was Daniel Ericeliar on the tackle, number 8, I believe. In fact, I was looking a minute ago. It looks like he's got a family member watching tonight, so we appreciate them. I saw a comment there on the YouTube channel. Appreciate that. Caldwell keeps the ball, running past the first down marker and then some. 11-yard scramble on the play for the QB. And again, I'm not sure if it's showing up on the camera right now, but a lot of wind, all blowing to the north, and a little bit of rain coming down right now too. So not exactly all that pleasant. The Edmonds-Woodway cheerleaders, watching them along the sideline there. It looks like they might be getting their rain jackets on, and they are. A lot of respect for them being out here too. I know it's not quite as much fun without your student body here, and yet they're here cheering on their team. Swinton cuts that one back into the middle after initially running a little bit to the left. They actually spotted the last play down just a little bit short, so Swinton picks up a first down right around the 48-yard line. And the wind continues to pick up here. We're feeling it a little bit here. We're up in the booth, but we're operating with an open window, trying to be safe, of course, with COVID and everything else going on. So definitely feeling the chill right now. Swinton up the middle, runs past midfield out to the 46-yard line, a gain of 6 on the play. That rain continues to come down harder, and the wind continues to pick up. Paul Keene, the PA announcer, just mentioned that the EW cheerleaders are braving the wind and the rain, so we got a nice little applause for them here. Caldwell, shotgun formation, 3 receivers out to the right. Looks out to the left, throwing it deep. Ball was picked up by the wind. You can definitely tell that ball was affected by the wind there. Says Fascione trying to make a play on it, and Caldwell's ball looked like a little bit of a balloon at some point there. It went up, and then it just kind of blew around and almost like it came back to the middle of the field a little bit. Definitely had the right idea on the call. Charm Pomushin split out to the left. He had a big touchdown catch here 2 weeks ago. Going with the trip set out to the right again, 3 more receivers. Hand off to Swinton up the middle, cuts it out to the right, gets the corner, finds the sideline outside into the 25 to 20, still running and finally pushed out inside the 15-yard line. A gain of, I'm going to call it 31 yards even, as it looks as though they're going to spot it right at the 15. Swinton, we mentioned a big number year for him last year, and obviously with the victories coming over the last 2 weeks, they'll take those, but Swinton, I know, likes to add to those totals. Didn't get a lot of touches that first week, but he's certainly getting it done today. Already with 2 touchdowns. Certainly added to his yards there, and we'll try to get you some individual stats at halftime as well. Swinton one more time, through the middle, gets some nice blocking up front, inside the 10-yard line, down at the 9, maybe even the 8. Oh, right around the 8. 2:33 on the clock and counting. Keep in mind, Edmonds-Woodway will have the first possession of the second half as well. They can be very explosive at times. We saw them put up 37 against Mount Lake Terrace in the first half 13 days ago. That was a Saturday afternoon affair. This time, Caldwell under center. Loses the football. It's rolling around. Shorewood says they've got it. Let's see what the referees say. Still haven't seen a signal from the referees yet. And there we go. It is Shorewood football. Edmonds-Woodway, they've been operating under that in the shotgun for quite a while. Decided to go under center this time. A little bit of a mishandle there between center and quarterback. Kind of hard to tell exactly where the error took place, but regardless, Caldwell pulled up. He didn't have the football. The ball hit the ground. He tried to dive on it. Apparently not quick enough. One of the Shorewood defensive players jumping in instead. So with 2:02 to go here in the first half, Shorewood with the ball, their own 9-yard line. They've got a ways to go. Well, let's see if maybe they can get something to go here and maybe grab some momentum back for themselves in the half, or heading into halftime, rather. A little bit of an option play that time. Soliam, the quarterback, keeping it himself. Finch coming up, making the tackle, 6-yard gain. Shorewood, 2 timeouts remaining. Don't appear to be in any too much of a hurry right now. Clock continues to tick, 1:29 and counting. Edmonds-Woodway, they've only given up 13 points all season through what will be 2.5 games when we go into the half here in just a moment. Soliam looking to throw, tucks it away, and we speak of the Edmonds-Woodway defense, and they do not disappoint us. Treasure Jordan wrapping the quarterback up and taking him down. Not before he picks up a little bit of yardage. So 3rd and 1 coming up. Edmonds-Woodway very content to take this game into the half, 13-0 as well. I was wondering if maybe they would use a timeout or two since they have all 3 left to force a punt or maybe a turnover, but they're going to be content here as well. They, again, have the ball to start the second half. They're up by 13. They certainly are looking good. A few errors once they've gotten into scoring position. Otherwise, this game might even be a little bit different looking up on the scoreboard. Shorewood runs the ball up the middle, picks up a first down. Elagio with a carry once again, 7-yard gain. Clock stops while we move the chains, 31 seconds left. Now Shorewood looking like they want to go into a little bit of a 2-minute hurry offense. Soliam rolling out, looking to his right, not finding much. Takes off running one more time, gets down the field. Nicely done, gets spun around. Hit hard. That was number 23 coming up to make the hit. Paul Koo. But Soliam doing a nice job to get a 9-yard gain there, maybe a 10-yard gain. They're gonna spot that. Let's see where they're gonna put the chains here. They're moving the chains. Shorewood with 19 seconds to go, and suddenly, now they do want to use a timeout, so they have 1 remaining after this. Soliam's starting to feel a little more comfortable there. Obviously, when he rolls out, he's noticing that his receivers aren't necessarily open. He's using his legs to extend the plays, and he's starting to get some yards down the field as well. Oh, and Doug Podrosky just pointed out to me that those are the first 2 first downs of the half for Shorewood. It has definitely been a rough go, and it's a combination of their struggling on offense and also Edmonds-Woodway. Just like I said, they've only given up 2 touchdowns all season, and those both came last week against Shorecrest. It's a Shorecrest team that can put up some offense, too, so nothing wrong with that. Shorecrest, by the way, just getting ready to probably kicking off their game right about now as they host Mount Lake Terrace over at Shoreline Stadium tonight. Oh, and we got somebody watching us in North Dakota tonight. Just saw that on the YouTube channel here. In just a moment, we'll mention that. Soliam scrambling out to the left, looking, takes off running, goes down hard around the 44-yard line. 8 seconds to go. Let's see if Shorewood wants to call a timeout, and yes, they do. So Forrest Newton, looks like he's got some family watching tonight. So, in fact, we've got an uncle watching in North Dakota. We don't have a name on here for the uncle, but nonetheless, we appreciate you watching. says he was going to try to make it out to the game, but so much uncertainty by the school district to be able to watch in person. And yeah, I definitely agree, especially to travel that far. It is a little bit tough right now. And again, we just found out, we just got the go ahead on Monday to start bringing fans back into the stands. It's a little bit challenging too in that, well, for Edmonds-Woodway, they get a few more tickets tonight than the other game coming up, because if you're playing an inter-district game, if Mellish, Linwood, Meadowdale, or Edmonds-Woodway, the 4 schools in the Edmonds School District, if they're playing each other here at the stadium, then each of the teams gets 50% of the tickets. So if we're limiting it to 400, one school gets 200, the other school gets 200. Being that Shorewood comes from the Shoreline School District, all the tickets going to Edmonds-Woodway tonight. So their fan base is the one sitting in the stands, whereas our night game here coming up later, Linwood and Meadowdale, that game will be split. They just got somebody asking if we're going to be broadcasting the Mount Lake Terrace game tonight. Unfortunately, no. We are only doing the games at Edmonds Stadium this year. So Mount Lake Terrace playing away at Shoreline Stadium this evening. But I think we'll have them on next week, if I recall. I think they're one of our 2 games coming up. End of the half, clock showing zeros. Final play right here. Ball falls innocently to the turf. And we've come to the end of the first half. The score, Edmonds-Woodway 13, Shorewood 0. Low-scoring affair. I'll tell you what we're going to do here right now. We're going to take a quick break. Just take a couple minutes to kind of gather ourselves here, figure out what we've got going on. We're going to take a look at the stats, give you some of the individual numbers coming up at the half, and then get you ready to go for the second half. So don't go anywhere. We're going to be here. I'm just going to turn off the audio here for a couple minutes. But when we come back, we'll get you ready for the second half of action. 13-point game. It's looking good right now. You're watching Hawk TV HBN. The rain continues to fall. Wind is still picking up a little bit. And we're at halftime right now. Edmonds-Woodway leading Shorewood 13-0. Up here, somewhat dry. Actually dry, but somewhat cold, as we've got the window wide open, obviously for pandemic purposes. We're just about ready to go here in the second half. It's interesting to watch everything down on the field. Just ran downstairs a minute ago. Locker rooms are closed, so no teams can go in the locker rooms. You've got players from both teams wearing their masks, by the way, so good job, Shorewood and Edmonds-Woodway, using the restroom simultaneously. Only choice they have. So teams never left the field. They're still out there, still awaiting the second half. And we're going to get you caught up on some stats here in just a moment. As I mentioned earlier, Doug Podrowski sitting down below us there. We've got our cable going down to the back row of the bleachers. And Doug, give me a thumbs up if you're ready here. He says he is, in fact, ready. Doug, we're going to have you bring you on here and have you give us a few stats for the first half. Doug, can you hear me?
Yeah, if you can hear me, fine.
I think we got you.
Okay, I'm down here without a space heater. I don't know if you guys have a space heater or not.
I don't think it matters much. I don't think I'm much warmer than you are. Let's put it that way, if any.
Well, the Edmonds-Woodway offense was warm, at least for one drive in the second quarter when they picked up 94 yards. Their total for the first half in total yards was 175 yards. Cruz Coswell went 5 for 7 passing for 44 yards. Rushing and one touchdown pass that went to Steele, Swinton. Steele also is the rushing leader for Edmonds-Woodway and for the game so far, 7 rushes, 51 yards. The one negative statistic for the Warriors, 7 penalties for 105 yards. 66 of those 1 yards was on a pair of penalties after a punt return. So that was a big chunk of that penalty yardage. For Shorewood's offense has struggled, of course. First 5 possessions, 3 and outs and 5 punts. They have a total of 38 yards in the first half. 35 came on their final possession that ended with unfortunately, the horn for halftime. They ran out of time. 38 yards. Their quarterback, Ramatullah Salam, is 2 for 5 for 5 yards. Their rushing leader, this is unofficial because I too am having trouble.
They're not the easiest numbers to read, are they?
Those numbers.
No, they're not.
But I believe it's Roy Swanson. I believe he has 3 rushes for 13 yards.
I was thinking it was the quarterback, but then again, he's lost yards on some of those sacks, which count against the quarterback in high school and in college for that.
Yeah.
If he was in the NFL, those wouldn't go against your personal numbers.
Correct.
So, unfortunately for him, it doesn't work that way. So interestingly enough, so total yards against a 175, did you say for
Yes,
Edmonds-Woodway?
175, 38 for Shorewood.
Yeah, so really, Edmonds-Woodway, you take those penalties away, the fumble inside the 10-yard line. I think when Rust came in and threw that pass, his arm got hit, the interception. Mm-hmm. This game could be a lot more lopsided even.
That's it.
So there we go. So Doug Podrowski, thank you very much, and I appreciate you. I know, like I said, you're dry because we do have the overhang here, but nonetheless, when the wind picks up, you feel it a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, but we're outdoors and we're enjoying football.
I was going to say, Doug, we're back in the stadium.
Yes.
Something to be said. It's been a while. Well, thank you for doing that again, Doug, and we'll maybe check back in with you here in the second half.
Certainly.
Doug Podrowski, who used to do a lot of work, and who knows? He says he's retired from it, but we'll see. He's done a lot of writing over the years as I look over the edge as I say that for MLTnews.com and MyEdmondsNews.com, Linwood Today, amongst others here. So again, we're just waiting for the second half to start here right now. Certainly let people know if you're watching, if you're enjoying this, and let your friends and family know. I know we picked up a few more things here a little while ago here as I try to get back over to the game here in just a moment. A few more comments there that came in at halftime. And certainly feel free to throw those out. We'll give the shout-outs if you need to. If you can't get on the comments on YouTube, I'm also on Twitter. You can tweet me at Steve Willits. Last name is Willits, all one word. We'll check those a little bit too. Finding out that Riley Johnson has a fan in Boise, Idaho checking in today. Looks like Uncle Sean and Cousin Charlie watching from North Dakota. Is that let's see here. I see a number 8 there. Is that Cousin Charlie's age? I would imagine, because I think that's the North Dakota group that's watching Forrest Newton. Is that right? Number 2. And also mentioned that the grandparents in Bellingham have been watching, so we like that. Zach from Tri-City says, go Woodway. Casey Ulrich says, go Edmonds-Woodway. Somebody else wanting Isaac Keene to get a shout out, so there we go. Shorewood cornerback. We'll show Isaac a little love there. Wearing the number 2, the junior. Shorewood again playing a little defense tonight. It's they're bending but not breaking, right? Giving up the 175 yards of offense, but 13 on the scoreboard. And we saw something similar when they played Linwood last week, quite frankly. This is where things got a little bit out of hand for them. And if you watched that game at all last week, Shorewood scored a touchdown to tie the game 7-7 with 1 minute and 17 seconds left in the half. Linwood was out of timeouts. I thought Linwood was going to go conservative and settle for the tie at halftime. Linwood decides to throw a bomb. They brought in their second-string quarterback who stands all of about 5'8", 135, and he chucks the ball 50 yards down the field and finds his receiver running down for a 64-yard reception down to the 5-yard line. And with no time left on the clock, he took a last-second snap and threw a 5-yard or 2-yard touchdown, I guess it was 2 plays later, into the end zone and had a 14-7 lead at the half, and then things kind of fell apart in the second half. So Shorewood, they've been keeping their games close in the first half, keeping this one in check. They're going to need their offense, obviously, to step up. They're going to need their defense to get a stop here, so they're going to take the field first, and we are just about ready to go here again. Starting to see some go Shorewood and go Edmonds-Woodway comments there on the line. Pooch kick there. Fielded at the 33-yard line, going from left to center and trying to find a little running room. Charlie Finch, the up man, catching that ball, getting it all the way up to the 41-yard line. And Edmonds-Woodway will take the offensive side of the field for the first time here in the second half. Again, we're having some. I've already had 2 people now. One online, one text a minute ago, asking about Mountain Lake Terrace football. Again, we're doing games at Edmonds Stadium this year. Mountain Lake Terrace and Shorecrest are playing right now over at Shoreline Stadium, and we'll do you a solid there and try to help you out here in a moment. As number 3, Fahey, getting the first carry of the half. You know, our super fan, John Richards, who watches a lot of our games and has helped us out from time to time, mentioned that he's watching both games right now. He's at home watching the Shoreline Athletics YouTube page. Apparently they are broadcasting the Shorecrest Mountain Lake Terrace game. So if you're a Mountain Lake Terrace fan watching us because you didn't think you had an option, certainly flip on over there and check it out. We don't mind that. We won't be offended. Caldwell, a little bit of a high snap, gives it to Fahey. Just right over that left guard spot there, close to midfield. A little bit short. Runs it right off of left guard. We'll give him 4 on the play. Well, maybe 5. We'll give him 5 there to the 49-yard line. Brings up a 3rd and 3. So things seem to be going relatively smoothly right now. We're kind of looking out here again. Other than the things we can control anyway, the elements, which, and as I say that, it's actually calmed down a little bit as far as the weather situation, but everybody's spacing out. Again, we're going to get a Caldwell run right up the middle, close to the first down marker, or maybe a bit short. Could be 4th and maybe a half a yard, depending on where they spin. Actually, going to move it back a little bit. And that's going to be a full yard short. So he needs to get to the 48. They're on the 49. We were broadcasting a soccer game here on Tuesday night, and Rich Pettick, who works for the athletic department at the school district, he and his wife Cindy were walking through the bleachers with blue tape, some yellow tape too, I think, yellow caution tape, measuring things out, making sure that they were spacing everything to fall within the restrictions. Obviously, we're dealing with protocol, COVID protocol. Say that fast 10 times. Run up the middle on 4th down, 1st down and more. Caldwell still going past the 35-yard line, down to the 34. He needed about a half of a yard. He picks up 14 or 15 instead. 1st down. Edmonds-Woodway on the roll here with 9:52 to go in the 3rd quarter. So, yeah, a lot of round-the-clock working over the last few days. And, again, just to get into the stadium, I know names need to be given. There's a checklist. I think there's a health screen survey that people need to fill out online just to make sure that they aren't feeling any effects that could be COVID. Fahey pitch to the left, puts his shoulder down, trucks a couple of guys trying to get out to the side there. Shorewood not having it. continues to force him out of bounds or near the out of bounds marker, finally taking him down at the 35. It looks like we're going to have our first timeout of the third quarter. John Gradwell walking out there to talk to his offense. Seems to be content going with one quarterback for the most part tonight. We mentioned earlier Alex Rust, who's been getting some of the playing time lately as well. He's a year younger, a junior. Rust had, I believe unofficially, we have him down for just the one pass, unless we missed something there. Came in during, I believe it was the second possession of the first quarter, threw a pass. It was intercepted. However, in fairness, his arm was either hit or he took a hit as he threw it, as the ball kind of flailed through the air. He was looking to throw it down 30 or 40 yards down the field. It only traveled about 15 and fell right into the hands of the waiting defender, Eduardo Alagio. And we haven't seen him back out there at quarterback since, so we'll see if maybe he gets a little playing time at some point here in the second half, as Gradwell was doing a nice job. The first game of the year, he was going essentially 2 possessions each and then flipping them out each time. So Caldwell would get 2 possessions, Rust would then get 2 possessions, back to Caldwell for 2, et cetera, et cetera. Haven't seen that so much tonight yet. Timeout's over. We're back to action here. 2nd and 11 coming up. 3 receivers set out to the right. Hand off to Fahey. Off to the left. Puts that shoulder down one more time. Continues to run. Chain Gang says, let us get out of the way here. You just keep going right by us. And he does. That Chain Gang ready to move down the field one more time, because Fahey on a 2nd and 11 picks up enough for a first down. Going to give him a 14-yard gain on the play. So far this drive coming on the 3-minute mark. So we're now looking 3 minutes exactly on that snap. There are 9 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Fahey carrying the pile. A little bit of a scrum going there on the left side. It's a few different Thunderbirds on his back, picks up 4 yards. Going to bring up a 2nd and 6. Going to give that tackle to Omar El-Khatib on the play. One of the tacklers, anyway. We'll try to start getting some of those Shorewood mentions out there. Not trying to be disrespectful and not mention them more than we do. It's just those numbers are so tough to read. Not going to lie up here. We should mention, too, a smaller crew than we normally would work with. And normally we would have a color commentator as well, but with the pandemic and trying to keep spacing. Steele Swinton at it again. Touchdown, Edmonds-Woodway. 18 yards out. Swinton sweeps to the left, gets along the sideline, and for the 3rd time tonight, Swinton is into the end zone. 3rd touchdown for Edmonds-Woodway, I might add, as well, as he has all 3 of the scores. And with 8:05 to go here in the third quarter, Edmonds-Woodway extending that lead to 19-0. And now they're going to look for another point here as the point after touchdown attempt coming up. Swinton also the holder. Sanchez Arias into kick. Converted the first one earlier, missed the second one. It was a bit of a adventure on the snap, and it was partially blocked. This time, the kick is up. The kick is good. Edmonds-Woodway 20, Shorewood 0. 8:05 to go, third quarter. You're watching Hawk TV HBN. That last drive lasting 3 minutes and 50 seconds, 8 plays, 58 yards. Stats again courtesy of our friend Doug Podrowski. Edmonds-Woodway, thanks to 3 Steele Swinton touchdowns here this evening, out to a 20-0 lead. And Shorewood now ready for the first offensive possession of the second half for them as Elagio fields the kick and runs it out past the 20-yard line, right around the 21. Edmonds-Woodway, we mentioned it earlier, giving up fewer than 40 yards in the first half. They seem to like playing here this year. They've played 6 quarters of football already in the month of March here at Edmonds Stadium. They've yet to give up a point, outscoring their opponents now 64-0 during that time. Quarterback keeper, Salim falling forward this time. Starting to feel like he's getting a little more comfortable there. We saw it in the second quarter as well as he was scrambling a little bit better. Thin guy, 6'4", 190. It definitely has a little bit of height. It's fairly elusive there as well, as we've seen him get up the field and make a few moves on some people. It's really been kind of their primary source of offense for the most part there. Once things get going, we mentioned earlier he's not the leading rusher, but that has more to do with some of the sacks he's had to take in the first half. Second down and 7, flag flies. Actually, we're going to get a timeout. I think the play clock was about to expire. The back judge threw the flag. The head official then ruled that the timeout had been called, so the flag was waved off. So we're going to get a 2nd and 7 from the 24, 7:10 to go. Again, first of 2 games here, a doubleheader tonight. Meadowdale and Linwood coming up next. Try to start working around and getting some more scores here as we go along as well. A whole slate of games again tonight. I mentioned Mount Lake Terrace playing down the road a ways at Shoreline Stadium against Shorecrest. Archbishop Murphy hosting Glacier Peak tonight. That's a pretty big matchup. Archbishop Murphy getting to play Wesco teams for the first time ever, as we essentially have thrown out league and conference play this year. Keeper there, or actually that was a handoff, not finding any room to run. And hey, I know we've got some family watching there. Riley Johnson, big number 57, in on the tackle. Paul Coe also getting in there on the tackle. Public address announcer gives him a shout out there, and we immediately heard a nice little yell out. So obviously somebody from the Coe family in the stands rooting him on. Clock continues to tick. Shorewood finding the going rough on offense tonight. 2 first downs for the entire game so far. And now they're staring at a 3rd and 7. Salim dropping back, fumbles the football as he's hit. Ball's bouncing around on the ground. Picked up, Edmonds-Woodway ball. Guess who? Riley Johnson. Jake Ingram with the stick. Slammed Salim into the ground. Ball came loose. Johnson falls on it inside the 10. We've got an injury there as Salim now a little bit banged up, so coaches and trainer coming out to look at him for a moment. Folks in Boise, Idaho like that one, so hopefully they're still watching. If they are, they just saw a nice big play there from number 57. Jake Ingram, he likes coming in off that corner there. We saw that earlier as he almost got a quarterback sack in the first quarter. As the ball got off just in time. This time, Ingram. Good quickness, a lot of closing speed there too. Grabbed the quarterback, flung him around, and ball popped out. Riley Johnson there to make the recovery. Edmonds-Woodway in business once again. 8-yard line. First and goal, obviously. Looking for a fourth score of the night. Guess who's back there? I formation this time is Fahey set up as a fullback. Swinton behind him. Hand off to Swinton, right up the middle, into the end zone for the fourth time tonight. Steele Swinton getting it done. The Lion giving him a nice blocking route there. And Edmonds-Woodway now up 26-0 with 6:16 to go in the third quarter. The road graders there up front doing a nice job of blocking there. We mentioned them earlier. We should probably give another shout out to the starting lineup there, or the starting five there is Reed, Burmeister, Evan Gibbs, Nick Arico. We've already mentioned Riley Johnson. We'll give him another shout out. Chase Holland and the rest of the crew up there. Getting it done. George Cartano, I know, getting some playing time in there as well. Edmonds-Woodway exploding here in the third quarter. 14 points. We're not even halfway through the quarter yet. 27-0 is our score. It looks like we're going to get another kickoff here in the middle. Reading the comment there on the YouTube channel, I agree with you right there, right? He mentions as a lacrosse official, I can't believe there isn't some high school football rule on jersey numbers, contrast jerseys, etc. You know, they look sharp. I know the students like them. I know the kids think that and they are good looking. Hey, don't get me wrong. If you're not a play-by-play announcer, or even a fan for that matter, who's sitting in the stands, not the easiest things to read in the world. But you know what? They don't generally go to the play-by-play announcers and public address announcers for that matter and ask for our input when they're designing these jerseys. So yeah, Shorewood a little bit tough to read for us up here tonight. Doing our best, but nonetheless, Shorewood trying to get something going on here, down 27-0. Falling on the ball rather quickly and ensuring that ball doesn't get away. Salagio one more time. No return on the play. Edmonds-Woodway bringing that defense back out onto the field. And that might be the storyline moving forward here. Obviously, the game at some point you might look and go, okay, well, I think we kind of know who's going to win, but I'm sure Edmonds-Woodway players, defensive players, they think about things like shutouts. They don't want to give up any yards. What was that? Oh, yeah. Doug Podrowski, who's been giving me scoring tidbits here. Every time we finish up a scoring drive, he gives me a little post-it that shows how many yards and how many plays per drive. That one was a bit easy. It was one play. 9 yards. After Riley Johnson recovered the fumble, Steele Swinton converting it. Incomplete into the flat. Teams are scrambling for it. That was a forward pass, though. It was in the backfield. However, the ball went forward. Big difference. And they're going to say it's a turnover. That's where we need instant replay for that matter. I don't know that was. And let me see if we can go back and see that in any way, shape, or form. I don't know. Well, let's see here. We do have the computer up here, so let's see if we can find it here. I'm going to try to watch this the same way you guys are. And they're going to say Edmonds-Woodway ball at the 14-yard line. I'm going to try to get to a point where I can see that play here again in a minute. It looked as though it was set up as a screen pass almost, and I'm actually in the process of trying to watch it right now as we speak. So I don't know. I don't think that was a backwards pass. But either way, Edmonds-Woodway, we didn't have the angle to tell, but from up here, it looked like that was either a sideways pass or maybe even a yard forward. Regardless, Edmonds-Woodway ball. Swinton cuts it back outside into the end zone one more time. Penalty marker down at the 10-yard line. So let's hold off on the celebration here. But if it stands, Steele Swinton would have his 5th touchdown of the night. They're going to now put that flag down at the 12-yard line. Not generally in an area where you're going to get anything called on the defense. So more than likely, coming back, Edmonds-Woodway also recognizing that as they walk backwards. Illegal block in the back. And Reed Burmeister gets the shout out there. Not the shout out you want. We've already given him a little love there a couple times. We know they're having a great game up there. They're going to say a little bit of a block in the back there off that left tackle position. Burmeister listed at 5'11", 180. Not a huge tackle. That's impressive. He's able to get it done the way he is. I mean, like I said, this offensive line doing a really nice job tonight. Trips it out to the right. There looks to be some confusion as Swinton even looks over to the sideline. Caldwell looking to throw down the middle into the end zone. Touchdown, Edmonds-Woodway. Tesfacion getting the call this time. We saw him get a touchdown in the opening drive of the first game of the season. Just scored again. This one right over the middle. You're going to push us back? You're going to give us a penalty? We'll throw the ball over the middle this time. Kind of lulled everybody into thinking they were run, and finally Caldwell drops back, throws a nice dime. Spacione gets open there on a little slant play. And for the first time tonight, Edmonds-Woodway with a touchdown. That's not Steele. Swinton, the ball low again. Swinton rolling out, trying to get the 2-point conversion. Big hit there. To look through the binoculars, we want to make sure we give credit where credit is due there. That looked like it was Rory Swanson, number 15. One of the defenders also wrapping up on the play there as well. Let's see if we can, again, now we're doing instant replay by way of the YouTube channel here. I'm just going back a few seconds and trying to watch. So, again, Swinton, it helps to have your running back as your holder when something goes astray like that. Ball was a little bit low. Swinton took it off the skid almost, if you will, trapped the ball in. Rolled out to the right. It looked like he had a shot for a moment there as he was looking to pass the ball, couldn't find anybody. Yeah, hard to say who the second player was, but regardless, two defensive players keeping him out of the end zone, preventing a 2-point conversion there. 33-0 game right now. Jennifer Smith giving Trey Smith a shout out. Number 6 for the Warriors. The junior. And that drive was a 2-play, 14-yard drive that took all of 15 seconds off the clock. So Edmonds-Woodway, their last 2 drives combined have lasted 3 plays, resulting in 2 touchdowns. Another big hit out there. Tackle made by Charlie Finch. As soon as the name, you can always tell whose family members are here. Finch gets a call out, and immediately we get a few cheers there. Finch stays in to play at his safety position. Edmonds-Woodway looking to pitch a shutout here tonight. Remind everybody, too, if the game gets to a 40-point lead here in the second half, we would have a running clock. Trying to do a little misdirection. Once again, not much room to run. Resch getting the carry. Santry Jorghang, who was the starting quarterback last week, or last couple of weeks for Shorewood, now into the game. He had been the starter, was relegated to second string. And I'm guessing that Salim might be a little bit banged up from that last play as he went down pretty hard on the turf. So at this point, Edmonds-Woodway, or Shorewood rather, elects to put Jorghang in. Incomplete pass. Intended for Rory Swanson, number 15. Charlie Finch playing a little defense, getting his name called out there. 3rd and 9 coming up once again. Shorewood down 33. I believe we're still at, have to look down at Doug here, 2 first downs for the game. That is correct. So 2 first downs all coming on the same possession. Edmonds-Woodway defense pinning their ears back. Jorghang drops back to pass. Feeling the pressure, throws it down, finds a man open beyond the 50-yard line. Ball is complete. That's Rory Swanson, number 15 on the catch. 25-yard gain, Shorewood's biggest play of the night. Jorking dropped back, got a little bit of time there. Swanson just falling behind the defense. Found an opening, and Jorking completed it. Nice little pitch and catch. And for the third time tonight, we can say Thunderbird first down. A lot of changes coming up on the Edmonds-Woodway defense right now. A few players rotating in and out. Screen pass out to the left side. DeReese catching the ball. Charlie Finch coming up, making the tackle. 1 yard loss on the play. So 2nd and 11 now for Shorewood. Getting a shout out for Charlie from his grandparents down in Oregon watching the game. Need one of those maps where you can put the pins in and see all the different states represented tonight. So we put North Dakota, we've had Boise, we've had Oregon, a few others here as well. Saw the Tri-Cities on here earlier. One yard gain there, 3rd and 10 coming up, 3:27 to go, third quarter. Edmonds-Woodway looking to run their record to 3-0 on the season. Again, 5-game schedule this year. It's a quick one. We get a few games in and then we move on to the next sport. Edmonds-Woodway, by the way, they're right back in here next Friday night, a game that we will be broadcasting. Looking deep across the middle. Incomplete, almost picked off. Nice defense there. Number 17, John Morales. Eric Killian was the intended receiver on the play. Brings up a 4th and 10. If you're Shorewood, you're down by 33. What do you got to lose at this point? You're already on the Edmonds-Woodway side of the field, so of course they're going to go for it here. Trying to see if they can get on the board here. Right now trying to see if they can get a first down. They need to get to the 35-yard line. Jorghang rolls out, looking patiently, finally throws. Incomplete. That ball might have been hit around the line of scrimmage or maybe in the defensive backfield. Paul Coe, along with Emran Abdul-Qadar, in on the pressure, and that's going to turn the ball back over to Edmonds-Woodway. Edmonds-Woodway football, 2:58 to go. And it looks like we might be getting a change in personnel. There's Trey Smith, by the way. Somebody gave Trey a shout out earlier. Just checked into the football game. Guessing that makes Jennifer Smith happy. Jennifer putting that up earlier. Get a nice little shout out for Tesfacion. I hope that whoever is shouting that out saw the touchdown that he caught a few minutes ago. If you're just tuning in, you might need to go back and watch that at some point. Number 7 playing a nice game. Steele Swinton one more time. Carrying a couple of would-be tacklers on his back. Out to the 49-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play. Ding Root coming in also for right now. We're starting to see a little more substitution for Edmonds-Woodway, working some guys in. Root wearing the number 15, playing receiver out to the right side here. There's Mr. Smith there. Inside slot, trips right. There's Forrest Newton playing right there in the middle of those two guys. Hand off to Swinton one more time. Swinton busting through the hole, into open space, running into the night, into the end zone. One more time, touchdown, Steele Swinton. 51-yard touchdown. Swinton getting it done. Touchdown number 5. Holland getting a nice shout out. Chase Holland, number 73 with the block, getting him out into the open. Found some space, ran hard. Initially got grabbed around the face mask. That almost could have been called from about the 40. Shook that off. kept running out to the right, found a nice angle, found some space, found the end zone one more time. Swinton, after all is said and done, he gets to get back down on the knee, ready for the snap here. And this would be a running clock game if the extra point goes through. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Our director, Angelo Como, was giving me this hand sign. I couldn't figure it out. You were signaling running clock. Was that okay? There we go. Our own little language up here. So 40-0 is the score, 2:06 to go. The running clock, I believe, will not start until the kickoff here. So again, if we have any injuries on the field, the clock would stop. It doesn't stop from here on out for incomplete passes, first downs, touchdowns, any kind of scoring play. The clock will continue to run. Again, that's in place for a few different reasons, obviously. You don't want scores to get too far out of hand at a certain point in the game when you already know who is going to win. Doesn't make sense to get these guys banged up and injured. You still play the game out, which is nice, too, because you still want to give some of your other players a chance to get some experience, so that's always a good thing, but it will go a little bit faster here. So two-play, 55-yard drive lasting 52 seconds. And Edmonds-Woodway now, as we are 9 minutes and 54 seconds into the second half, and they've already put up 27 points. Really blowing this thing open here now. Booming kickoff. That's going to land around the 3 and into the end zone. Automatic touchback at the high school level. Looks like we got a few different names coming in here. We're going to make sure we give some shout-outs here, too, to some of these players and have their name mentioned. Charm Pomuchin, number 12, going into the game right now. He's got those yellow gloves. He's hard to miss out there. He's been playing off and on throughout the night. Just noticing from up here now as I look to Treasure Jordan. I like the shoes. Got the lime green shoes going there. Goes good with the, I guess we call that forest green that the Warriors are rolling with. Certainly makes for an easier spotting up here. Handoff up the middle. No, they're going to pitch it. Ball bounces along the turf. Quickly falling on it there and making sure that he covers it up. That was DeReish one more time. Rundorf there to keep him down and to make sure he's not going anywhere. A loss of 5 on the play. So Edmonds-Woodway about to go 3-0. They are right back here again for each of the next 2 weeks, actually. Next week is a Friday game, and the following week, all Wesco football games are going to be played on Thursday night, April 1st. They move those up a day so that everybody can get ready for the spring sports season to start right away immediately afterwards. So we'll go ahead and, almost intercepted. Ball is caught. Might have even gone off of an Edmonds-Woodway fingertip. It's number 5 on the catch. Tyson Shea getting his name called out. Major Gradwall, nephew of head coach John Gradwall, in on the tackle, junior DB. He's wearing the number 14. So Edmonds-Woodway, they will be on the broadcast here each of the next 2 weeks. Next Friday, a week from tonight, 5 p.m. start, they will be taking on the Linwood Royals. So if you're an Edmonds-Woodway fan, you can stick around at 8 o'clock and watch the Royals play right here on the same channel and do a little scouting report, see what you guys are in for. Royals team that looked awfully good last week. Ball thrown into traffic, incomplete. Riley Johnson getting a little pressure on the QB there. It's going to bring up 4th down. So Edmonds-Woodway versus Linwood, 5 o'clock next week. And then Thursday, April 1st, the big rivalry game. It's generally ends up being a really good game as well, but two teams that do not like to lose to one another. It will be Edmonds-Woodway versus the Meadowdale Mavericks. That game will also be a 5 o'clock start time. Meadowdale, by the way, they're the ones that are playing Linwood tonight. So again, stick around at 8 o'clock and watch both of Edmonds-Woodway's final 2 opponents coming up. How do you like that? Shorewood, by the way, they will be at home, or they'll be at least over at Shoreline Stadium each of the next 2 weeks. Next Friday, they will have a 6 p.m. start time against Mount Lake Terrace, and then they wrap up their season against their rival, the Rotary Cup. That's what they call it over there at Shoreline Stadium. Shorewood versus Shorecrest. That will be a Thursday night game, 6 p.m. start time. And I've seen pictures of that game in the past. They pack that place when those two schools get together to play that game. It doesn't, regardless of what the season is looking like or how the teams are performing, when Shorecrest and Shorewood play in the Rotary Cup, the community turns out. I'm going to put Doug's mic here for a moment here. Doug, you were just telling me that, I think we're stuck on the mute now. We may not put you on, Doug. We're having the mute button stuck here. Oh, here comes our trusty, the button jams here. So we might get Doug on here, we may not. There we go. Now he's on. So now Doug can talk about the Rotary Cup.
Yeah, I've been to that Rotary Cup game in the past more than once, and it is crazy. The stands are packed. There's food, great food to be available. One of the bands puts on a big halftime show, whoever's designated as the home team. It is a big event. So if you have any interest in high school football,
except for this year, we should say.
Well,
we don't want to send everybody over to an event where they're going to get turned away. So
good point.
We want to promote that part of it for 2021, but
it'll be different this year.
No, definitely with restrictions for them as well, as they're going through the same thing we are here. But no, glad to bring you up there. And Doug, I'm going to turn your mic down this time rather than mute you because, well, we want to talk to you again at some point, and I don't want that button getting jammed. So now, good to know. Here we go, a little return for Trey Smith. Getting a touch there and doing a nice job. I know, like I said, we've got family watching tonight. Nicely done here, too. I don't know don't we need a name here? Somebody just pointed out that Steele Swinton with his 5 touchdowns surpassed Al Bundy's 4 touchdown performance for Polk High School back in the city championship game. Well done, sir. Nice reference. Or ma'am, I don't know who's. Say, for those of you a little bit older like myself, middle-aged, a Married with Children reference. Ed O'Neill's character, Ed O'Neill, who's now on Modern Family, he used to be Al Bundy on that show, and Al Bundy always used to brag about his high school days and the glory days and his 4 touchdown performance. So getting a little reference there about Al Bundy and how Steele Swinton surpassed him tonight with his 5 touchdown performance. We mentioned Swinton, a all-Wesco player as a junior. You know, he had a lot of hopes for this year in terms of his numbers. He wanted to try to hit 1,000. Just came up a little short last year. Unfortunately, with a 5-game schedule, that wasn't going to happen this year. And it wasn't even used a whole lot that first game just because, quite frankly, he wasn't needed. Talk about that here in just a moment as Ingram, fullback, hand up the middle, dives forward, out past midfield. Almost was still off and running there. He does a nice job, and we're going to give him, 14, and we're going to give him 22 yards on that play. Really impressed with what we're seeing out of Ingram there. Offensively and defensively, plays hard. Ball goes over to the sideline, gets the play. And we're operating with a running clock right now. Trey Smith, the junior, in the backfield. Smith showing some speed, getting a first down and more. Out past the 30, 14-yard gain for Trey Smith. Give a shout out there to Trenton Harper, too, playing fullback tonight. And I have to be honest, I didn't notice this until we got here. I posted up my rosters on the window here. Anything between the numbers 26 and 88 for Edmonds-Woodway, the year of your player got cut off. So I'm not able to give shout-outs to what year, whether they're sophomores, juniors, or seniors. And again, with a one-person on-air staff tonight, it's a little bit tough to go back and forth too much. But nonetheless, Trenton Harper getting some PT and was lead blocking there. And speaking of which, now he's going to get his own handoff. Wrestled to the ground. Picked up a couple on the play. Max Knoll, number 70 on the tackle. Shorewood guys still out there playing tough. And Shorewood about to fall to 0-3 on the year. Mount Lake Terrace, a team who haven't seen us score yet, but I have a feeling I should probably check because we might be getting scores as we speak. They're over playing at Shorecrest. They might also be an 0-3 team after tonight. I have a strong feeling that game may not be going in their favor. That's a pretty tough matchup for them. Nathaniel Marinez getting a carry there. Starting to shake it up a little bit there, giving other people a chance. Up here we go. I'm noticing now. So about 20 minutes ago, we got a score from our friend John Richards. Shorecrest was up on Mount Lake Terrace 22-0 in the second quarter. So again, Mount Lake Terrace, the opponent for Shorewood next week over at Shoreline Stadium. Marinez, another run, gets tackled hard to the ground. Waiting to see if we get a number on the tackler there. It's either Kabashi or Betancourt making the tackle. Enough for a first down, a short gain, but didn't need much. Trying to look at some things through binoculars and get those numbers as best we can. Still want to give some shout-outs to those guys. They're playing hard even though their team is down right now. Harper up the middle, cuts it out to the side, to the 5, to the 4. So close there. Nicely done. Trent Harper running it all the way down to the 3-yard line. A 16-yard gain on the play. Trey's getting some love from a few more people now here online. So last name Smith, I'm assuming those are family members. He's quick. I like seeing that 5'5", listed at 5'5", 125, only a junior. So Martinez and Harper in the backfield there. Handoff goes to Martinez into the end zone. Edmonds-Woodway once again. Touchdown Warriors. Martinez getting his first touchdown of the night. 46-0 score. Edmonds-Woodway now really pulling away. 6:11 showing on the clock. And let's see if we get a little more drama here. This has been an adventure at times tonight as we've had Steele Swinton try to score off of a short snap one other time. Another time the ball was either snapped badly or bobbled, couldn't tell. Kick was ultimately blocked. Another rough snap. This time, though, however, nice job there by the kicker and the holder, for that matter. Swinton as well as Sanchez Arias showing a little patience there. Swinton finally got the ball down. Sanchez Arias puts it through the uprights. 47-0 is our score. It is all Edmonds-Woodway at this point. They've broken out for 34 points here in the second half. And again, the only real drama left at this point, can Shorewood try to get on the board here? You know, the game we did last week, third-string quarterback, Andrew Gebhardt, only a freshman, came in late and got a touchdown pass. So perhaps we'll see him and maybe a few of the other young guys. Sometimes that's the best thing that can come out of these games where you've got a, for lack of a better term, a blowout. It certainly gives players that are younger and maybe down the depth chart a little bit more of a chance to play. And hey, during a year like this, just to be able to get out onto a field and say you played a varsity football game, nothing wrong with that at all. We will gladly take it. It beats the alternative, right? So that drive there, 6 plays, 64 yards. Time of possession there for that drive, 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Again, a little more time than usual since it was a running clock. So once again, another kickoff to Shorewood. Along the sideline there, apparently that's Elagio one more time. So after this game is over, we'll do a quick wrap-up. We'll send it off the year, and then we will be back at 8 o'clock tonight. So again, doubleheader, a game that certainly has potential to be a close one, too. Linwood trying to get their first win on Meadowdale in at least a decade. I don't know if we know an actual date on that yet. We haven't checked. So reading some of the comments there. Fun stuff. So, yeah, that could be a very good game tonight. If you're looking to watch a little football tonight, 2 evenly matched teams, 2 great coaches, James Harmon and Keontae Bankhead, both doing a fantastic job for their teams. 2 guys out here as well. We haven't mentioned Brandon Torrey yet. 6th year as a head coach at Shorewood. Took me a while a few years back to make sure that I could distinguish between Brandon Torrey and Brandon Christensen. The two Shoreline school district teams just happen to have football teams where each of them has this coach with the same first name. But Brandon Torrey at Shorewood, Brandon Christensen at Shorecrest, and Brandon and his crew obviously working hard to get these guys better, and hopefully they'll be able to find a little success here. 2 more games left for them coming up, as we already mentioned. Pitch out this time. And off and running here, one guy to beat, still on his feet. Is that Solano? I believe it is. Finally taken out of bounds. Or is that Elagio again? That was Elagio one more time. Pomashan making the tackle. 51-yard play for Elagio. By far the biggest gainer of the night for Shorewood. And for the first time all evening, Shorewood now inside the 25-yard line at the 23. Again, clock continues to tick. You know the Warriors want to get a shutout. The difference between a 0 and a 6 or a 7 on a score sheet, big time difference there. And we do have the freshman QB play now. Ball is on the ground. Big hit. Tesfacio drilling Duresh as he went to fall on the football. The ball bounced around. Trenton Harper falls on it. Edmonds-Woodway football. That might do it here. Again, running clock, so you're going to certainly get a lot more time ticking away than you normally would. Clock right now showing 3:14. And the referee's now having a conference, so they're going to stop the clock for a moment. So again, it looked like Gebhardt pitched out to Durish. Ball bounced around in the turf. He bent over to pick it up, and Tesfacio just came up and licked him one. Harper ended up falling on the football, Edmonds-Woodway ball, and they're once again reminding everybody, because this is unique for us. First time we've had fans in the stands, I'm just going to say all season long, but for the last 13 months. Last night was night number 1, so we did have girls soccer and girls volleyball in the area. But tonight is our first football night with fans in the stands, going all the way back to what, I guess, for playoff teams, it was November of 2019. If you didn't make the playoffs, October of 2019. Been a year and a half since we've had fans out here. And again, we're still operating under certain protocol, certain restrictions, because we've got another group of fans coming in later on this evening. They're asking everybody to exit to one side of the field, and they will bring everybody else in on the other. Now, looking at the watch right now, it's 7:09 p.m. The plan, according to what we were hearing earlier, was they don't think they're going to start letting the Meadowdale-Linwood crowd in until 7:30. At the latest, they were going to wait till 7:45, but if they can clear the stands out by 7:30, they'll start letting them in at that point. So again, the north side of the field, which is your right if you're looking out here right now, they're going to be exiting that way and then entering from the left. A little more of an option play. One more time, play throwing the football there. A little backyard action right there. Solano, the intended receiver, as Gebhardt initially was going to run an option with him. He ended up bouncing back, and therefore he let Solano get out in front of him. And rather than just take a sack, said, you know what, if hot potato, you can have it if you want, or let it hit the turf. And instead we get a incomplete pass. So again, we thought we had a fumble recovery there. They apparently whistled it dead. I didn't catch what exactly they said there, but Shorewood keeping the football. So perhaps a little bit of drama here still to conclude this game. 2 minutes, 9 seconds to go. Shorewood trying to get into the end zone. Edmonds-Woodway trying to prevent them as Ingram grabbing the running back by the legs there. Quick tackle. Elagio one more time with the carry. 3rd and 5 from the 18. 1:50 showing on the clock. Jennifer telling me that Trey Smith has been playing for Edmonds-Woodway in the Warriors program since he was 7 years old. Facts indeed. We like that. Somebody's asking who the quarterback is right now. That's a freshman. He just got in a few minutes ago. Andrew Gebhardt. Saw him come in and clean up a game last week, and he got a touchdown pass late. Shorewood losing that game 41-14. Gebhardt now scrambling out. Incomplete. Ball was intended for Alberto Solano. Trey Smith on the defense. 4th and 5 coming up, 1:05 showing on the clock. This is Shorewood's last chance if they don't get a first down at the very least here. Edmonds-Woodway will then preserve the shutout, so let's see what happens here. Player in motion, dropping back to pass, looking, needs to get to the 13 for the first time. Gephardt all the way back to the 40, scrambles, drops the football. They're going to say it's a live ball. And there we go. A lot going on that play. Isaac Wicks picks up, starts running with it. Gephardt just trying to find somewhere to run to. He kept going backwards further and further. Finally started stumbling to the ground, and as he did, just flipped the ball out. I think he was just trying to prevent getting a sack. They say the ball was live. Wicks picks it up. Clock continues to run, 5 seconds and counting. That is the final play of the game. And let's make it official. There it is, 000 on the board. For the second time this season, Edmonds-Woodway plays a home game at Edmonds Stadium. For the second time this season, Edmonds-Woodway pitches a shutout. 47-0 is our final. 44-0 2 weeks ago when they beat Mount Lake Terrace. So they're tough to beat here. Also, they're tough to beat at Shoreline Stadium. They beat Shorecrest last week, 23-13. Edmonds-Woodway, 3 wins, 0 losses on the season. 2 more games to play. Again, no playoffs this year. No districts, no regionals, no states. Playing for a lot of pride and playing to have a good time and playing to win. And the Warriors certainly doing that. So congratulations to Coach John Gradwell, who picks up win number 152 for those that are counting. And a great game all around. This defense, again, looking fantastic. Too many players to name. Offensively getting it done. A lot of ground game here tonight. Steele Swinton, 5 touchdowns. Other guys getting into it as well. Offensive line playing fantastic. I guess we should check in with Doug one more time here. Doug, I'm going to bring your mic up.
Yeah.
Anything to note there before we sign off? Any final stats or things you want to point out there?
Well, can you hear me? I've accumulated the Shorewood totals, 85 yards total offense. 66 of it came off of the running of Eduardo
Alacio, yeah.
Alacio.
It's a fun name, right?
Yes, I haven't looked at the Edmonds-Woodway yet, but all 5 of their possessions in the second half ended in touchdowns. I can tell you that much. 5 possessions, and most of the possessions didn't last very long, did they? No.
A 1-play drive, a 2-play drive, I think another 2-play drive. Yeah, so nonetheless, so I'm sorry, one more time, how many total yards of offense for Shorewood?
85.
85, and that was with a 51-yard run there near the end of the game, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Unbelievable. So Swinton picked that up in just a few different plays. So notice Steele Swinton's mom just gave a wave up here. She's excited. She's happy. His sister, Soraya, also here watching the game. She's a Meadowdale alum, but they allow that in that house. So family having a good time. We're watching the players down here right now. I hope we're catching that on camera. I'm assuming we are. And it looks like Trevor Wall, number 25, he's able to do the splits. Something that Doug, you and I are not able to do. And I don't think Angelo is either, but at least we gave him a little shout out there. So, Doug, I think we'll let you go for this game. You're going to be back for the next one as well, correct?
Absolutely. You can't tear me away from this.
This is good stuff. So I'll tune you down right now. And once again, we'll wrap things up. Keep the camera out there on the field. This is great. So we won't go away quite yet because, hey, these student athletes, the cheer squad, they've been waiting a long time for this right now. Hopefully everybody's able to look out there, see some family members, see some friends. And we appreciate everybody tuning in. Somebody's asking what my name is again. Steve Willits, and certainly we up here with Angela Como, Heather Miles, the rest of the crew, we certainly appreciate everybody tuning in tonight and happy that we're able to bring this service. Again, we are doing all Edmonds Stadium football games throughout the course of the season. So we've got one. We're at the halfway point. I just realized that. We've done 5 games. We have 5 more to go. 1 tonight. 5 would be a record in one day. Angela doesn't want to see that. 1 more game tonight, and then 2 more next week, followed by 2 more the following Thursday night. And that wraps up our season. So everybody, we appreciate you watching. We're going to sign off, take a little break, get ready for next game. But one more time, let's say it because if you're an Edmonds-Woodway fan, it sounds oh so good, doesn't it? Final score, Edmonds-Woodway 47, Shorewood 0. For everybody on our crew, once again, I'm Steve Willits. Have a great night, and hey, tune in again at 8 o'clock for the next game. See ya.